Sean, Total Country, Bob FM.
It just really gets me going in the morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Truck Driver of the Year. Charlie, how you doing? Charlie Oslin, how are you?
Excellent. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're not driving behind the wheel at the moment, obviously, because you're talking to us live on Bob.
I'm sitting right at the kitchen table, actually, looking out the window.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, it's a beautiful morning for that. And you've been driving for UPS. You've been working for them for 29 years.
That's correct. I've been driving for them for 25, so I've put a few miles on.
In the 2 million miles, because don't you have to go like 2 million or more?
Well, more the better, safe, but that's what I've got is basically kind of the calculation. I've got about 2 million safe driving miles, about almost 23 years of safe driving.
Wow. Have you never been an offender bender in the 20-some years?
When I first started out, I drove a little package car and actually backed into a lady after I just kind of started. So that was my collision with somebody else.
Mm-hmm. But since then, nothing.
No. I've been crashing anybody else since then. So.
Oh, congratulations. But you've seen a lot in the 20-some years of driving for UPS.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on the road out there. And the State Patrol has a crash facts, and they just put out for 2009. And the number one contributing factor to crashes in Minnesota is driver inattention or distraction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's any surprise to anybody with, cell phones, texting. You see people reading books on the steering wheel.
Yeah. My goodness.
You see everything but what you're supposed to be doing is just paying attention and driving. And that's the number one cause of crashes in Minnesota is people really not doing what they're supposed to be doing, just paying attention.
When we see people eating and when we hear these stories about people who are putting on their makeup and stuff like that, you're saying you see all of that and there is some of that going on.
Oh, yeah. People in their cars right now, you could probably look right or left at who's ever driving by you there and look what they're doing. And they're probably, a lot of them are either on their cell phone or they're doing something else. Picking up something off the floor or whatever, and you really just need to focus on driving.
So would it be your thought that we should not be on our cell phones even if it's Bluetooth while we're driving?
Well, that genie's kind of out of the bottle, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really stop that. I think people just need to focus that you don't, do you really need to pick up that call?
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like you'll see people that are even I don't know if they're on Bluetooth or what, but they're so into their phone call that they're, driving 10 miles an hour under the limit, or they tend to weave, or, the focus is not on driving. So it's kind of everybody's job, really, just to think, I got to drive here and multitask.
Yeah. Well, I know one of the struggles you have to face, too, is that you are the focus of their frustration as a truck driver because you're just not, you come off a stoplight, and it takes you a while to get that hunk of metal going. And I would imagine you get a lot of people just zooming around you and cutting back in just to show you their disapproval of your speed.
Yeah, you get some salutes from people. They don't kind of really realize the mass problem involved. If you sit behind a truck, like you said, at a stoplight, and you start to go, and people behind you, it takes a long time for that mass, could be 80,000 pounds to get going, and then once it gets going, it takes a long time for it to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people have to kind of remember that there's just a lot longer vehicle, and it's a lot heavier, and it just takes longer to get going and to stop, and it doesn't really turn real well. So basically, we try to just kind of pick a lane, say, on the freeway and stay in it, rather than weaving in and out, which it's not a Ferrari, it's a big truck.
Are we just getting worse at driving every year? Is it getting tougher and tougher? Does it look that way? The distractions, of course, are more and more.
Well, we're getting more and more drivers every year, too. We got, I think, about 3.9 million licensed drivers in Minnesota, and you figure we really haven't added a lot of freeways. So you're getting more drivers in the same space, so it's going to be more congested, so you're going to have more problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, road rage, has that peaked, or is that still continuing to grow?
I really haven't seen a whole lot of that.
Okay.
So I hopefully that's kind of on the downturn. Maybe I'm driving around, I don't see that a ton, but people kind of have to just relax and, don't be in such a hurry and kind of be aware of everyone else and be a little more forgiving. But, it's out there.
But your number one message to the Bob listeners this morning would be stop being distracted. Is that right?
Yeah, really. I think you just need to focus on driving. When you first start out, say when you get out of your car or when you get in your car after work and you're going to scrape it off, turn your lights, flashers on, walk around the car, kind of look at it while you're scraping it off.
He's talking to you, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to scrape all your windows, too. Get that back window so you can see what's behind you.
Okay.
John was reminded last week in the big snowstorm that there was a window or two that needed to be scraped.
I pulled up to a gas station, and I travel at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, so?
And I pulled up to a gas station, and there was one of our
gendarmes.
Travel our highways and byways who encouraged me that I would be scraping my windshield before I left.
It's good advice.
And I did. I was very faithful to that cause.
I want to congratulate you on all the years that you've driven, the decades that you've driven for UPS accident-free.
Oh, thank you.
And for you and your family, it's a blessing to know that guys like you are out there behind the wheel of these big rigs.
Well, we as professional drivers, obviously, it's our job to not run into problems, but everybody's got to give each other a little grace out there, and, even though we're professionals, nobody's perfect, so, I'd appreciate if you cut us some slack, and we're going to try to cut you guys some slack, too.
Nice to have a little courtesy on the roads. It's a good thing.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Thank you, Charlie, for being on. Charlie Oslin on Bob FM, and congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations
right,
to you.
All right, thank you, buddy.
All right.
Many, many millions of miles more of safe driving. That's fun. Thanks to John Houseloud for the Minnesota Trucking Association in Roseville for setting that up with Chuck and John on Bob FM.